gentlemen, welcome to Ariel Helwani's MMA Show.
Back in your life on this Monday, October 29, 2018. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ariel Helwani. Welcome back to the show. Hope you had a lovely weekend. I did, for the most part. It was my daughter's birthday yesterday. That was a very exciting time for all of us. Had a nice party, had a Lion King cake. It was phenomenal. You could see that on my Instagram, although the story might be over. Anyway, it was a great time. Happy to be here and so much to discuss. Wow, UFC in Moncton. That's kind of on our minds, but really the biggest story of the week, the first trade in mixed martial arts history. And I know a lot of people have been scoffing at the idea that this has been a trade, that this is a trade, that it should be categorized as such. It actually is. And we will learn more about that later on today. We are covering this story from all angles today, my friends. We are going to be covering it from all the important angles. We'll be talking to all the important people. It's going to be a great day. Plus, we have 3 in-studio guests. We're on the road to UFC 230. The UFC is back in New York City, Madison Square Garden. Daniel Cormier versus Derek Lewis for the heavyweight title. There is much to discuss. Let me run down today's lineup. And before I do that, though, as I thank you once again for joining us on this Monday afternoon, we have a fun day planned for all of you. If you're watching us live on Twitter, thank you very much. live.twitter.com/ESPN. If you are listening to us after the fact on iTunes or Stitcher or ESPN.com, the app, thank you. Checking us out on YouTube, thank you. We appreciate all your support each and every week. I just want to say at the top of the show that I am doing today's show with a bit of a heavy heart after what happened in Pittsburgh on Saturday, and I just wanted to dedicate today's show to all those affected. I don't care how you feel about politics. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care about any of that. I think we can all agree that these kinds of things need to stop, and I pray that one day they all stop. And so to everyone in Pittsburgh, we're thinking about you, and obviously this one hit close to home. Love you very much. Now, as far as today's lineup is concerned, let me just tell you who will be stopping by. Anthony Smith will be stopping by at around 3:55. Big win over Volkan Ozdemir. Israel Adesanya will be stopping by in studio. He fights Derek Brunson on Saturday night at Madison Square Garden. Tyler Minton, the nutritionist to the stars, will be stopping by. Max Holloway, DC, all those people and more. He'll be here at 2:50. DC will be here in studio with both belts at around 2:05. Malki Kawa, who is instrumental in pulling off the Demetrius Johnson for Ben Askren trade, which I'm sure you have heard of by now. He'll be stopping by at 1:45. Demetrius Johnson, in his first interview, will be stopping by at 1:25. But first, there was only one way that we could start today's show, my friends, because he was the star of the week. Yes, he was one half of the trade. Yes, he was, an instrumental part in all of this. He's an important figure in all of this. But the way Ben Askren dominated Twitter and pretty much put the entire welterweight division and then some on notice last week was nothing short of incredible entertainment. I mean, it was every time I opened Twitter, it was another phenomenally timed and written tweet. It was funny. It was on point. Ben Askren came out guns blazing, and now he is a member of the UFC. So there was only one way that we could probably start today's show, and it is with the funky one, the man that we have been waiting, we have been pleading to join the UFC. Now here he is. Ben Askren, member of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Does it seem real? Does it feel like a real thing, Ben?
Wow, Ariel. Oh my God, my volume's too high. I better turn it down.
Okay.
Ariel, I got my own studio, Ariel.
What's at you.
Up now?
Wow.
I'm coming out on fire. I called everyone out. All these punks been talking about me for years. They know what the truth is. They know they don't want to get in the cage with the funky one. And this Joker, Jilboon, I don't know how to say his damn name. He's a model. He needs to stick to that and stop trying to be a fighter. He said, well, no one's scared of myself. Listen, there's not a tough guy on planet Earth that is not afraid of being emasculated by being held down against his will, being able to do nothing he wants to do for 25 minutes in front of millions of people on live television. That's about the worst thing that can happen to you, Ariel.
Okay, wow, you are coming out. You're coming out guns blazing again. Okay, let's take a deep breath here and let's take a step back.
Who do you want me to call it, Ariel?
We'll get to that.
Khabib, I'm the best grappler on planet Earth. Khabib, bring the heat. George, come out of retirement. Just tell me what I got to do, whether it's an amount of followers or beat someone up. You just name what I got to do, George, because you're not saying nothing. Diaz, you guys put down the pipe. long enough to pass the USADA test to get in the cage. Masvidal, you're a bum. Boom, roasted. Thompson, I got nothing to say bad about Steve Thompson, but I know I'll beat him up.
Okay.
Who did I forget?
That's it. We're good.
Darren Till. He's the worst. This guy. You know why I was following him, Eric? I was following him because I don't like other people with undefeated records.
Yeah.
I got an undefeated record. I've been undefeated for 9 years. Darren Till stinks. I'll beat him up so easy. And he wants to talk like he's tough on tour. Hey, Darren, if you're really tough, call the UFC. Tell them you want me in London. I'll come to London. I'm not scared. I'll beat you up in front of all your home fans. Tell them bring Funky to London to come beat you up if you're really tough.
When did this idea, Ben, come across your radar? When did this start for you?
The trade. We're talking about the trade.
Yeah.
Or beating up all these jabronis. I've been wanting to beat these jabronis up for a while.
I know, but the trade itself.
The trade. One FC called me at some point last month. Chatri called me and said, "Hey, would you be open to being traded for Demetrius Johnson?" I said, "Well, wait. Can we do that? Like, is that allowed? Can we do that?" And he said, "Well, I think so." I said, "Yeah, of course, I'm open to the idea." And one of the things Chatri always talks about is making situations where everybody wins. Where it's a win-win. And this was the ultimate win-win because everybody won on this trade. And so I said, "Yeah, of course, I'm open to that." And I remember I was going to sleep. I think it was like say 10 days later. It was a Saturday. I was going to sleep with my wife, and he sent me a message. He said the trade is done. I'm like, what? Are you freaking kidding? Amy, look at this. I got traded. Like, listen, Ariel, I thought of a lot of different scenarios in which I was allowed to fight the best in the world. Even in my own crazy head, there was no scenario in play where I got traded to do this. And then on top of it, I got the UFC sees the value in me because they traded me for literally the greatest fighter who's ever stepped on planet Earth, Demetrius Johnson. That guy defended his belt 11 times. He is phenomenal. So they see the value in what I'm going to do for their organization to trade the best fighter on planet Earth away for me, right? And so when I got that, I was like, and then I remember I was so tired that night and I was so ready to go to bed. It was, I'm old. I got 3 kids. It was like probably 11 o'clock on a Saturday. I'm going to bed. And then I was all freaking jacked up. And then I wanted to go to bed early, and I stayed up till like 1 o'clock in the morning just thinking about all these bums I was going to beat up.
How difficult, based on what you were told, was it to actually get this done?
Honestly, I kind of stayed out of it. They said, "Can we do this?" I said, "Yeah, sure, make it happen, whatever."
And that was it.
I'm pretty easy in that respect. I don't got any preconditions. It's whatever. Let's do this.
Okay. Were you surprised that the UFC was not only interested in you, but willing to give up, as you said, one of the greatest fighters in the history of the promotion, the winningest champion, given your history with them, and in particular Dana White? Were you surprised that this is actually a thing on their mind?
I think, someone just asked me, a friend asked me, like, "Well, you've been talking about going to the UFC for years." And I said, not really. I obviously, after Bellator contract, I tried going there in 2013, but since then I've been under contract with one, so it hasn't really been a possibility. But everybody else has been talking about it. Everyone wants to see me fight against Khabib, or see me fight against Darren Till, or see me fight against George, right? See me fight against someone big, because they want to see if my game is really as bad as I say it is. And damn straight it is, Ariel. There's no joke behind that. Okay? They want to see it. So I wasn't talking about it. The fans were talking about it. And then, the UFC really cares about social media. So, that is what was instrumental in this. And, obviously I had, a few significant figures, yourself, Joe Rogan, Brendan Schaub, kind of always pushing the issue. And so I think that was what brought it about. So no, I wasn't really surprised that they wanted me. I think it was about time for them to go outside the box in some way, shape, or form. And this is really huge news because it shook it up, because it is a thing that you and I, even as MMA fans, as MMA experts, you didn't think this could happen. I didn't think this could happen.
So people have scoffed at the idea that this is a trade, but can you clear that up? It sounds to me like it is a trade. Like they own your contract now, right?
Correct. Yes, I do believe that's correct.
Wow. And so will you then renegotiate to have a new deal, or do you just slide in there and now all of a sudden you're on the roster? Like, how does this work?
I do believe I'm going to head to New York City this week. I think I'm going to renegotiate because there's not for their concern, there's not a lot of time left on the contract. And so, I'm sure they're going to want to put something longer term into place for me, so that they get more than, say, if it was current, I'd probably get 1 or 2 fights out, and then I would be a free agent again. And then I might get paid $5 million a fight. We'll see this current market. It's heating up. It's great for the fighter. And so, I think they're going to put me in something that's a little more long term. which I'm okay with. Obviously, I stated when I retired in November with preconditions. The preconditions was that I get to prove I'm the best in the world. There's only a few people I can do that against, right? I've beaten everybody for the last 9 years. I haven't lost a fight, and so there's only a few people that are in that category, and so I think I'm going to get to fight some of those people.
Have you talked to Dana White?
I haven't talked to Dana. Listen, I don't. Let me check. I can check here on my phone. I still don't think he's unblocked me, Ariel.
Wow,
I mean, that's rude.
I agree. And
Ariel.
What?
No, he didn't. It's
that
blocked.
Is unbelievable.
I thought. Well, I could actually search his name this time, so I thought maybe I was unblocked, but I guess I'm still blocked.
Well, Ben, we have something in common. Although I feel like you have a better chance of being unblocked than I do at this point.
I would hope I'll be able to be unblocked. We'll see if I get that privilege. That would be fantastic. But yeah, listen. I've been ready for this opportunity for 5 years, and so now I'm finally getting this opportunity. I am not going to waste this opportunity. I'm going to get in there and mix it up with guys I think that are not nearly as good as I am at what I do. And I'm jacked up.
Has anyone from the UFC talked to you? Like, I know there's
yes.
more yes?
I've talked to Hunter from Legal.
Okay, Hunter Campbell, who's a very important figure, general counsel. What has he told you about why they wanted you, about why they did this? UFC doesn't historically play nice with others.
You know what? I didn't ask him why.
Oh, okay.
I didn't ask the why of it. Is we kind of talked about logistics. We it was obviously the first time him and I had talked, so we kind of just got to know each other a little bit, and then we said we would figure that stuff out. Maybe this week, but I guess for me, Ariel, the why wasn't relevant. It wasn't. I don't care why they did it. Now I'm here. I'm ready to rumble, and that's all I cared about.
When you left the sport, when you retired, and yes, I remember talking to you right after. You said you actually predicted you'd fight George spring of 2018 in Montreal. So your prediction
19.
Did you say 19? Okay, wow. So it's still in play.
But George ain't telling me what my preconditions are. Listen, it's not fair, George. It's not fair. Tell a man what he's got to do. And if you're really retired, George, if you're like done, just say, hey, I'm done. I'm never coming back. I got plenty of money. The honeys love me in Montreal. Right. Whatever it is, just tell us that, right? But if there is a chance you're coming back, you need to tell us because fans would like to see me and you tango. I'd like to see me, you, and tango. I was doing a seminar with John Danaher 3 weeks ago. I told John Danaher, John, come on, man. I know George has got something going on there. Just tell me what I got to do to get that man in the cage with me. And listen, as far as George is concerned, this isn't a sign of disrespect. I think George is one of, if not the greatest welterweight of all time. Okay. That being said, I think my skill set matches up very, very, very well with him. And I love challenges. I want a challenge. I want to fight George St. Pierre. Let's do this, George. Tell me what I got to do. Did
you think in your heart of hearts that you would end up in the UFC when you walked away? Like, did you feel like something would happen? You did?
I thought some way, somehow it would happen. I didn't know how, but I thought there was something that was going to happen there. It was one of those situations where, Ariel, no one likes a cliffhanger, right? But this was a cliffhanger. It's like, okay, Ben Askren's 18 years old. He hasn't been beaten in 9 years. Is he really as good as he says he is? Everyone wants to know. Don't we all want to know?
Sure. Okay, so then let me ask you, if let's say it never happened and you're 7 years old and I'd be talking to you about your career. Could you admit that even though you said all the right things and you were never been beaten, thoroughly dominant, it would have bothered you that you never got a shot in the UFC, right?
No, you know what, Ariel? I've been really good in my life about understanding that there's not things I can always control, right? There's only certain things you can control. And when people really get stressed in life is when they start worrying about things that they can't control. And that was something that was out of my control. So I kind of let it go. Obviously, I had totally moved on in my life. I'm working at my academy full time. I'm working for a company called Rudis with some social media stuff. I help with the Badger Regional Training Center. So I have all these things going on in my life. I love my life. I love what I do. I am so lucky, Ariel, that I get to do what I love on a daily basis. Okay. That being said, I'm putting my life on pause for this opportunity because this is my last. I don't get to rewind to age 23 and replay this. So I was hoping I got this opportunity, but my life wasn't on hold for this opportunity. I was moving forward in my life. I love what I do. I love to get to that I get to coach kids in the sport I enjoy every single day. I get to talk about wrestling every day. But I'm putting my life on hold for this because I get this opportunity once, and I want to prove to everyone how good I am.
You have talked about a lot of people over the past week. Obviously, you're a former welterweight champion at Bellator. The one man you have not talked about, of course, is your very good friend, your former teammate at Missouri, Tyron Woodley.
Yes.
Is this an awkward situation? You want to be a champion,
Not
right?
at all. It's
Okay.
not awkward at all.
Why not?
Simple. Tyron and I are fighting.
Right. Is that
That's
weird
it.
for you? You want to be a champion, right? You want to be a UFC champion?
It's off. I don't worry about things I can't control.
Okay.
I'm not fighting Tyron Woodley. If say he breaks his knee or something, and they want to give an interim belt, I'll fight for that. But me and Tyron are fighting. We're really. I mean, honestly, we've been really close since I was 17 years old. That's half of my life. I helped train him for his fights. I'll probably help him train for his Colby fight because Colby's like he's a freaking B maybe C rate version of myself in every aspect. Every aspect. He can't wrestle worth a damn compared to me. His trash talk that's JV level. He gets his damn lines written for him. The guy's he's slow. So I'm gonna help Tyron train for that fight. I think ideal situation for me.
Yeah.
George doesn't want to fight Tyron because Tyron hits too hard. That's what I've heard. Period.
Okay.
So George wants to come out. I'd love to fight him. Otherwise, I would love to see the UFC do a 165 and 175 division, and I don't think they are moving towards that right now. But I think looking at it from a business aspect, I think it would be a great decision also because there's going to be a lot of kind of cross divisional fights if you do something like that.
Yeah.
Which everyone loves those, and that's kind of why everyone is so excited about me now is people love seeing stuff that they haven't seen before, and it's kind of why the heavyweight division it gets stale because there's only like 30 heavyweights. They can only match them up so many different ways. And then obviously most heavyweights can't make 205. And so when you've already seen all the matchups, people kind of lose a little bit of interest. And so, I think that's one of the things that's so attractive about me is you haven't seen me fight anybody.
Right.
So
it's all fresh.
I can fight them all. It's all fun.
But you still have to go through USADA, right? So you can't debut for 4 months?
I got to get an explanation on that. Obviously, I was the one who originally suggested they go to USADA all the way back.
Yes.
That might have started the rift between Dana White and myself.
I'm
not 100% sure on that. Guessing. So obviously, I'm more than happy to take the drug testing. I'm very happy they put the drug testing.
Have you started it?
I have not. I have not started. Obviously, my one championship contract is what UFC owns right now.
Okay.
Obviously, that doesn't have any USADA provisions in it, so I'm sure they're gonna have to do something to add those. I'm not a legal guy, so I don't know exactly how that's going to go down, but I'm sure they're not in there right now, and they will have to be added in some way, shape, or form.
And in your idea, 175, 165, Tyron goes up to 175, you can make 165, correct?
Absolutely. And Tyron, Tyron's even talked to me before I was ever signed. Tyron's even talked to me about the possibility of him going 185. I know, in college we were 165, 174. I was 74, he was 65. But Tyron has gotten bigger, and it's one of those things where if you're not making weight, in college we make weight 20 times within say a 4-month period, and now he's making weight once or twice a year, and he has a tendency to get bigger, whereas I can't put on muscle mass worth a damn. I mean, I could lift weights every day and I'm barely going to get any bigger. So yeah, I think he would go 75, I'd go 65. I think even if that doesn't happen, there's a possibility that he might bump up to 185. We'll see how that all goes down.
Now, the two biggest fights that I think could happen for you, obviously the George one, I think I love that fight. The other one is Habib. Could you make 155?
I cannot make 155. Okay. I mean, I made 163 for the Olympic team. That was really tough. That was a light. I had to live a lifestyle to make that weight class. I was really skinny. Really challenging for me, and so another 8 pounds. I can't even imagine another 8 pounds. That being said, I've heard he's big. I've heard he's not small. Obviously, he's missed weight I think once or twice. So, right, obviously that's a challenge for him. So I think if you asked him, he would probably say 165 is a great weight class for him also.
Right now, here we are, October 29th. Your last fight for one against Shinya Aoki was back in November of last year, so we're approaching 1 year. I know you coach. I know you're active, but do you feel – have you actually started to think about, okay, training camp and whatnot? Do you feel like you're rusty? You haven't been injured, so it's not like you're rehabbing or anything like that.
No.
Mentally, at some point, you probably thought, okay, I'm done. Now you're back into it. Do you feel like there's going to be a transitional period there to sort of get you warmed up again?
Well, you know what? I was actually going to wrestle in a wrestling tournament in December, a big one called the Midlands. And so you know what? When I retired, I didn't get on a scale for 9 months.
Wow.
And so I got on a scale September 1st, started dieting. My plan is to wrestle at 174 pounds. Actually, the number one guy in the country is a guy named Zahid Valencia, who's really, really good, is going to be at this tournament. So I was excited about wrestling. I wanted for myself. I wanted to do something to stay active, to keep myself in shape. And so this was it for me. And so, I'm still planning on wrestling in that. That's December, maybe 29, 30, 28, 29, somewhere around there. So my weight was already coming down significantly, and I just need to keep that going.
What's the ideal scenario for you? When, where, against who for the debut?
I mean, it's a funny question because I don't get to pick it, right? If I pick it,
no. If you did, if they said to you,
it's Khabib then George.
It's Khabib first.
Yeah.
At a catch weight.
Yeah. Obviously, I can't make 165, so to catch weight, but I don't think Khabib would have a problem. I think if you ask Khabib, you'd say, I like 165. That's a good weight class for me. And then they'd have a reason to give McGregor a belt again. It's fantastic. Everybody wins, Ariel. I'm creating win-win-win. Listen, I just got Conor McGregor another belt. Boom.
It's a beautiful thing, it's so like the irony in all of this is so beautiful because not only are you part of this historic trade, it's never been done before, we never thought it would happen, but you, of all people, who has been somewhat of a thorn in the UFC side. I mean, longtime fans will remember the infamous Dana White video blog where he is speaking to this network, to ESPN.com, and saying, you got a guy with curly hair on the front of Sherdog. Remember they had a partnership with Sherdog?
That was like 2009.
I know.
Way back.
It's beautiful. And didn't he say that he'd rather see flies procreate than watch you fight? And now you're fighting for. Isn't that amazing? You got to sit down and talk to him, right? You got to.
I would assume so.
Are you looking forward to that? To burying the hatchet, trying to get on the same page?
Absolutely.
Or maybe you keep this up.
Honestly, Ariel, one huge thing I'm looking forward to asking why on that one. Not why this time. Why last time? I genuinely don't know. Why that negotiation went south. I have some guesses, right? I can guess at why. I think I might know why.
Why?
But I don't really have an answer. I've told you that before. We don't need to go into that.
Okay,
I've told you that before. But I have some guesses on it, but I can't tell you this is exactly why. And so, for myself, I'm very curious on why.
You were paid very well by one, correct?
Correct, yes.
Are you worried that you're not going to get the same kind of contract in UFC? You're going to have to prove yourself?
Well, I mean, I think minimum they have to give me what I got already, I would believe. And listen, I told you I love what I do. I'm well off. I haven't spent my money. If they try to lowball me, I'll just do what I do. I love this.
What do you mean do what you do? Bail?
Yeah, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, I don't think this situation. Listen, they gave up the best fighter they've ever had for me. So I don't think they're going to try to lowball me. I think we're going to be all good here. I haven't even really considered that scenario.
Okay.
You brought it up. I haven't even thought about that because I think that's so unlikely to happen.
Okay. And when does your contract expire? Could you tell us that?
Yeah, I think I got about 4 or 5 months left. So obviously I've already talked to Hunter. We're going to renegotiate and we're going to put some more time on there because this is where I want to be right now. I want to go fight Darren Till. I want to fight Colby. I want to fight George. I want to fight Khabib. I want to fight these guys. This is what I want to do. And so, obviously I don't want to do it for nothing. I don't want to do it for free. But that's who I want to fight those guys.
One has already publicly acknowledged this. DJ did a conference call. He's about to speak to us. UFC has not. Why not?
They told me they were today. We'll see. Man, are they ashamed of me? I
don't know what's going on. No, they like to keep everything close to their vest.
Yeah, they really do, don't they?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Hunter did tell me they were going to announce it today on Monday. So,
okay.
I guess we'll wait and see for that to come out. How
much fun was last week for you? Just like all the Twitter stuff going after it. It felt like the shackles were off and you were just having a blast. Is that how it felt?
Yeah, because, I would talk trash in the past, but you know what? I always felt a little bit guilty about it because I couldn't go prove it. It's not like I can go do this. So when I'm talking trash about these guys, I kind of feel in my heart a little bit guilty because I can't go prove what I'm saying is to be the truth.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And now it's real. Like, it's on. 209 suckers, where you at? You're ghosting on Twitter. You ain't there. Colby, you're a bum. Till, let's go. I'll line them up. I don't get hurt, Ariel. I'll go once a month. I'm used to wrestling 5 times a week, or 5 times a week, and 4 weeks a month. So me getting a fight a month, that ain't no big deal.
And have you signed with Malky?
No.
Oh, what happened there?
I'm gonna leave that for speculation.
Okay. But he was instrumental.
No, I like Malky. I got nothing bad to say against Malky. I like him. He was very instrumental in this deal.
He was.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And I like Malky. So, nothing bad to say about him.
Okay, but you're still with your old management, Zinkin?
Correct.
Okay. And so when I asked you about the fight and where, you said, okay, it's not up to you, but when ideally would you like to debut?
I was planning on making 174 pounds, and then that's a day of weigh-in, so it's different than fighting in December. So I'll be ready. I might have to start that 4-month USADA period. I'm not really sure yet. So who knows? Let's say February, March, April,
Okay.
somewhere in there. I hope we can figure it out pretty quick and get something announced because I'm not trying to sit around for 6 months or nothing, obviously.
No, this is very exciting. And I have to say, very excited to speak to you first. I really appreciate you coming on, Ben. And, this is so historic. This is so special. Like I said, one has officially announced it. DJ has talked about it. You're on Twitter. UFC has yet to talk about it. Could we check off another box here? I have DJ on the phone, and I thought it would be fun if you guys actually interact here.
Let's do it.
DJ, are you there? Demetrius?
I'm here, Ariel. I'm here.
You're talking to Ben Askren right now, the man you were traded for. Anything you'd like to say to him?
What's up, Ben? What's up, Funky Ben? Congrats on the trade, man, and I'm looking forward to see what you can do in UFC and take everybody to Funky Town.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, the fun thing about this is, Demetrius and I we're the best at what we do, and now he gets to go show Asia. And people in America are very American-centric, but one is huge. I mean, I didn't fight in anything less than a sold-out 15,000-seat arena. And so I know they're going to love him over there. And obviously, I've been a big fan of Demetrius. I remember all the way back in the WEC days, like him fighting Dominic Cruz. That's how long I've been following him for.
Wow. Demetrius, did you hear any of that?
I heard him say, follow me back in the WEC days. Everything before that, I haven't heard anything.
That's fine. He just said how much he loved you and that Asia is going to love you as well. Do you have any tips that you want to give him, Ben, on dealing with the one people or the fans or anything you want, any words of wisdom? And conversely, perhaps DJ can help you out with Dana White and company. Ben, anything?
No, I think DJ's going to nail it. He's a great guy. Very intelligent, well-spoken. So I think he's going to nail it, be able to handle himself just fine.
DJ, any words of wisdom for Ben?
Just do your thing, man. You're already killing on Instagram, Twitter, calling out all the welterweights. That's what they love here in America, getting everybody repping and riled up about it, all the good stuff. So you're already doing a great job. You're doing a lot better job than I ever have about, causing that friction and ruffling those feathers. So keep doing what you do, Funky.
Ben, Congratulations. Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it. Best of luck to you, and perhaps we'll see you in New York City.
Yes, sir, you will.
All right, there he is, the one and only Funky Ben Askren, the newest member of the Ultimate Fighting Championship.